Hi everyone. Pavement parking rules vary depending on what part of the UK that you live. However, pavement parking rules have long been a hot topic for pedestrians and motorists alike. As it stands, unless you live in the Greater London area, there is no overriding law that bans this completely. But in this video, I'm going to be looking at the arguments from both sides. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Rule 244 of the Highway Code states, "You must not park partially or wholly on a pavement in London, and should not do elsewhere unless signs permit it. Parking on pavements can obstruct and seriously inconvenience pedestrians, people in wheelchairs or with visual impairments, and people with prams or pushchairs." The key things to note here are the words must not and should not. In London, you must not park on a pavement, the must indicating there's legislation behind it, and if you break this rule, you could be fined. However, outside of London, it's only should, which means there's no legislation to back this up and it's only advisory. But there's another rule in the Highway Code, 242 to be specific, that causes a contradiction and fuels the arguments. This states, "You must not leave your vehicle or trailer in a dangerous position or where it causes any unnecessary obstruction of the road." This is a must again, so if you're seen by the police to be in a dangerous position or causing an unnecessary obstruction, you could receive a fixed penalty notice. Many towns and cities were not designed to accommodate today's high traffic levels, and at some locations, especially in residential areas with narrow roads and no driveways, the pavement is the only place to park without obstructing the carriageway. However, irrespective of whether pavement parking is deemed necessary, there are inherent dangers of forcing pedestrians off the pavement into the carriageway and into the flow of traffic. This is particularly difficult for people with sight or mobility impairments and for people pushing prams or buggies. Before we go any further, I'd just like to have a quick word about today's video sponsor, NordVPN. NordVPN is a virtual private network and it gives a private encrypted connection between two machines. When you use this service, any internet sites that track user data will see NordVPN's information rather than your own, and this can have many benefits. NordVPN has some advanced anti-malware capabilities, so it's become more than just a VPN. It's now a powerful cybersecurity tool. This is particularly important for me because, as you probably know, I get sent loads of video clips from all around the world, so NordVPN actually checks these files before I open them. NordVPN are currently offering huge discounts, but if you use my link in the description, you'll get an extra month free. You can easily choose where your connection seems to be originating from, and you can use it on multiple devices. It works on every major platform, including Windows, Android, macOS, iOS, Linux, and even works on your Android TV. NordVPN is also fast. In fact, it's the fastest VPN out there. It's also really easy to use. It takes one click. You open a map, choose your location, you'll be connected in seconds. It's really that easy. If you get NordVPN using my link, it's also risk-free because it's covered by their 30-day money-back guarantee. I'm really happy with my subscription to NordVPN. I know it's always on in the background, keeping my data safe wherever I choose to travel. It's not just vehicles parking on the pavements that can be a problem. It's also vehicles parking in businesses and driveways that are too long and they overhang onto the pavement also. This can happen when motorists think parking on the road is an obstruction, but all they end up doing is causing a bigger danger and obstruction to the pedestrians. I'm sure there's also an element of protection of your own property when people park in this manner. The thought and mindset is the further the car is off the road, the less chance it's going to be damaged. This worry about your vehicle being damaged is something I can do little about, apart from maybe advise getting a dash cam with a parking feature. Please check out the links in the description. I've been using VFO dash cameras for years and they do have this functionality. While resulting damage to the pavement and verges is uppermost a trip hazard, maintenance and personal injury claims are also a cost to the local authorities. Another good habit to follow is to fold your mirrors in. This not only lowers the risk from your vehicle being struck, but it also helps people get down the pavement side. Interestingly though, for me, people parking on the pavement rather than solely on the road increases the chance of mirrors or vehicles being hit. What it does, it actually increases the space for two vehicles to go through, and that increases the likelihood of two vehicles forcing through. Whereas if you just park on the road, there's only room enough for one, so people have got to take turns. Parking partially on the pavement does not necessarily mean you won't get a ticket though, even outside of London. The Traffic Management Act 2004 places a network management duty on local authorities. This allows them to manage their road network and reduce congestion and disruption. The TMA also provides specific powers for parking enforcement to be undertaken by local authorities and not by the police. So the cut and shut is local authorities do have the powers to give you a ticket, so don't expect parking on the pavement is going to be fine or without a fine. Pavement parking, some parts of Liverpool, I wouldn't say is a must, but this is a definite shouldn't do. How could a wheelchair or a pushchair fit through this space? It's just lazy. This next clip that we're going to see is a capture of my own, and this really proves why people are sometimes afraid to park properly.
You see the shield?
Yeah.
Give them the way.
Good, so hold back for them.
Hold back a little bit.
Let them cross.
Okay, let them cross.
Yeah. And then start a little bit of move. Yeah, you needed to be onto that, so you controlled us with that car that was going to turn in.
Right.
Okay. So we just need a little tiny touch more planning. You're a little late to think about what could happen and what could go on. I'm just gonna Is he seriously going to park there after I've parked here? So, of all the places he could park on the road, after I park on the left like that, he goes and parks there like that. Seriously?
Yeah.
Aren't people stupid?
Yeah. I don't know why they stop here.
So are there any solutions to this? In some situations, I don't think there are solutions. However, if certain roads of the appropriate width were turned into one-way streets, it means traffic can be parked on both sides of the road all the way down without the needing for passing spaces for vehicles from the opposite direction. I'm not sure the cost implications of this and how many roads could be adapted to help with this problem. Have a look at this clip for an example where you can see by the width of the road, any vehicle that's not parked on the pavement partially would not leave enough room for any other vehicle to pass on the road. It definitely wouldn't be better to park off the pavement and then encouraging moving traffic to drive on the pavement. Did you also notice my park position in this clip compared to the vehicles in front and behind? I'm not actually sure whether much could be done, even within government, to find a solution for this because no one seems to have an answer. Passing powers between local authority and the police seems actually pointless. Even if local authorities were given the power to enforce unnecessary obstructions of the pavement, have they got the staff and levels to enforce this? Just as in London, Scotland have passed a pavement parking ban legislation back in 2019, but as of yet, nothing's been done about it. So as normal, the main reason why I've chose to do a video on this subject is to try and help with the education. If you do have to park up a pavement, please do so slowly. Make sure you leave enough room for a wheelchair pavement side and enough room for a fire engine roadside. And if this isn't possible, find a different space and walk. Keep safe everyone, I'll see you soon.